Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to another stream. Well, 1 week since I last drove this sim. Had a bit of RF2 and a bit of a break meanwhile, but only 1 week to go before the big LMU V1.0 release. Looking forward to driving a bit of a Valkyrie. Hopefully it's a good car with solid BOP. But well, here we are doing the ELMS Sprint Cup. Gonna be 8-minute quali, half an hour race with LMP2s and GT3s around Qatar. And finally I'm driving the Lambo. Hi Johnny, hi Mario. Yeah, soon, very soon V1.0. It was a year and a little bit more than a year. What, year and a half, year and 1/3 of early access. Feels like it went by very quickly somehow. We had some pretty good or great racing meanwhile. Look at that, by the way. Isn't that nice? What a livery. Well, not in highest details because VRAM would cry, but it's medium or high, which is good enough. Beep beep beep. Alright. Practice over. Quali, here we go. New tires. I have done quite... Oh, green track. Maybe it's still loading. Yeah, it's loading the real road. High grip, okay. I get scared by that every time. I wanted to say I've done quite many laps with Lexus around Qatar. And this Lambo feels so much different, it's crazy. Should be 5 laps, 4 attempts here. The relative is freaking out. What's happening there? I guess if it's private quali and everybody's basically in the same spot on track. Come on. Eh? Why don't I have... Ah, I know. Yeah, I'm trying to put the track map on, but I think my assignments have broken a little bit. But what I wanted to say, with everyone on the same piece of track, probably the relative is freaking out sometimes. Never really thought of it. I'm gonna take one more lap of tire heat up. Thank you, STS. I hope it's not gonna be too crazy of a race already. I need to kind of find my speed around this track with this car. Well, there is one driver that's higher rated than me by DR here, so it could be a difficult race anyway, or an exciting race. This car surely rotates a lot more than the Lexus. Hi Lavanas, yep, the hype is slowly increasing. I mean, not that much will change anyway, right? It's just like psychological thing. I mean, okay, 2 new cars, new liveries. It's not bad, and further refinement to the tire model. So, yeah, Hannah already in the 56s. But Ferrari is super strong in Quali. I mean, there is a lot more rotation than with the Lexus, but this very late front push understeer is still present. Good job, Pierre. Hello. Come on. The front just dies. Alright. Quite relaxed track limits anyway. And that will be just not enough for provisional pole, but it's close. Ay, ay, ay. Not even a cut calculation, okay. I will have another attempt. I think, I hope. This is a tricky section for the Lambo, much more than for the Lexus. Hard to keep the rear stable while the front rotating. Tires are kind of in the window. "10 seconds to go." I think the line is quite early. So I will get another attempt, which is nice. How did I put the camera like that on windshield? I'm gonna show after Quali. on. Still need to get 3 tenths. That was too much of a sand. Okay, well, we're gonna accept the P2, try to come back in the race. 30 minutes. I said I'm gonna show the amount of... So this is my seat position. And 26 FOV. And then you get camera like that. .30 times 60 divided by what was the lap times? 118 seconds? No, 117. 16 laps plus maybe one is 17. So something like this should be fine. Well, I hope the ratio here in the overlay is showing the correct value. 18.7. Well, if I have a bit extra fuel, that won't hurt too much. Did I put new tires? I did not. Always need to remember. Yeah, Pierre, I watched Mr. Houdini speak for a while. I mean, there is nothing really that new. But it's good to see and hear stuff getting spoken and announced, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, tires, it's never gonna be that big of a change, right? Like, they completely changed the tire from previous build to what we have now. But now they will just, well, soften the response, so it's not that difficult as it was for some people. And hypercars, yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to wait a bit longer. Anyway, here we go. Oh, stuff is flying already. Always better to be on the inside. But into the lead. Beautiful. Hana has a bit more pace for sure. Okay, lap 1 is survived, and we are in the lead. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the problem with the tires now is that they just have... I think the fronts also have this weird moment where they suddenly just get unexpectedly overloaded and just scream and squeal and lose all the grip. And same for the rear. But the rear is obviously more prominent or more dangerous. So as Mr. Steven Hood said, that's gonna be, well, kind of softened a bit, or I don't know what exactly what were the words he chose, but it should be still not possible to do RF2 drifting. But the response of the car should be more catchable, more predictable, and so on. Well, T300 is alright, I think. I think gear-driven wheels like the Logitech G25s and stuff, that's more of an issue. I remember 9 years ago we had Formula Sim Racing WC. My T300 RS exploded before, so I had to use the FGT. And suddenly I could no longer catch the micro slides on the exits, and I just lost a lot of performance. But the Trustmaster belt-driven wheels, like, I kind of respect them, they're quite smooth. Although, in a couple of years I went through 3 T300 RSs. One went inside warranty, the other went outside warranty. Actually I had 2, because then I went for T500. But that one was spewing ball bearings and was feeling softer into one side than the other. Good old times. Well, I've been sim racing. I mean, hard to say when does the career start, right? My first league race was in 2008. That was with the Logitech Formula Force EX, if anybody knows what that is. 70 euros FFP steering wheel. It was usable. But that one had crazy inner resistance. So yeah. Catching slides, not really possible. I mean, I did sim racing with keyboard and with the joystick, if that counts, in F1 Challenge back in 05, I think. Right, I do have to focus a bit on the Ferrari behind. Others are dropping off, but I cannot drop him off. I think the Ferrari is better in low speed, but Lambo in high speed in this situation. See you later, Pierre. Yeah, I mean, Naki Lauda, it's more about, as you know, about the wheel not fighting your attempt at correcting the slide. Is that a cut? Not a cut, okay. There is like this quite pleasant rotation in the rear of this car. Suddenly it turns into a violent snap. But if I just keep it under control, it's very smooth. But what annoys me the most with these tires still is the tendency to drive like a front-wheel drive car out of corners. At some point the front just decides, like, it's suddenly very sharply it's enough of rotation and I'm just gonna go straight. Yeah, I really hope that gets kind of improved with the slight improvements on the tire model that's coming with V1.0. My English, what's happening with it? V1, yes. What? I thought that was the Ferrari and I was like, what's going on? Oh dear. Okay, my brain is like I still don't comprehend what just happened. Am I still close enough for a nice slipstream? Not really. Now I just hope that Hannah doesn't have some extra pace. But yeah, I was like, I was watching at the radar, I thought it was just big dive bomb from the Ferrari, and I was like, well, he has to lift for that, he's not gonna just drive away, right? But then I realized it's not a Ferrari. So I gave up like a tenth or two. I think I need to be just marginally closer than this. So yeah, it's a 49-inch monitor with 26 FOV. And then I just move the seat position, like the cockpit camera, far enough that I'm not getting impeded by the A pillar on the left. Ah, that's a track limit. I see. Well, Daniela, talk to Tommy Leiden. He will try to explain to you that it's not really that competitive. But I haven't really raced it much, so I cannot comment. I'm still rotating quite a bit by the rear. But the wear is quite equal. The fronts are actually hotter. Well, front left is hotter. I'm scared of that rear rotation, but it's actually quite useful, like in at small slip angles. Timo, this is open setup. Yeah, this week and previous week I think as well, the silver races, like the intermediate races, were all open setup. Yeah, Liam, I'm trying a little bit of smacking to the left side by LMP2 before. It doesn't help me much, but we are very tight together on pace with the Ferrari in the lead, so I hope I can keep going a bit more. I think I gain a 10th in Sector 1, Sector 3, but then I lose a bit in Sector 1. LMB2 is coming, looking forward. Does a good afternoon, I am indeed running a very nice Rafa Esports livery. Here they come. What am I doing? Yeah, that was a brilliant opportunity for me to stay close, but I think there was a braking board like missing or kicked out, and then I mixed up two braking boards. Dear oh dear. That it might have been the best shot at win, but let's see. More LMP2s coming. He didn't really lose anything by that dive. Wait, at Interlagos the Aston and the BMW are at least a second faster. Really? Oh dear. Well, if that's true, that's difficult, or well, not difficult, that's how then the WEC BOP is. There the caddies are a second per lap faster. At Interlagos. Dear Lambo, don't dance around too much, please. My race is disintegrating. What a dive. Now dive him. Well, traffic is not being helpful. What are the chances? Should I protest that LMP2 for crashing me out of the lead? Don't really feel like that's gonna change anything. Well, mainly they look at the protests, but it's more like for those big intentional crashes, full throttle into somebody, or any kind of retaliation. So this will be just like NFA here. And the last thing that Studio 397 needs is a couple of protests. That doesn't really make any sense. Ow. No, but I think I say it every time, but I was much more unlucky than Hannah with traffic this race. I cannot get around it. He did have maybe a 10th pace per lap, but maybe he also did some smaller mistakes or more smaller mistakes to lose a bit of that pace. Oh well. Was that the last one or is it one more to go? No, that's it. Not sure where the LMP2 leader was. Well, GG. P2 it's gonna be. I just had to repair body, so at least no suspension. Okay, well, steering wheel is quite shaky on the Lambo when it goes into ABS. What can I say? I can only laugh at this. Wow. I mean, I tried to hang on a little bit, but no point. I like the ferry. GG's. Yeah, livery is pretty nice, I think. I think in real life, Rafa uses kind of this scheme, but it's pink instead of red. But well, we went for red here. Anyway, let that be it for this one. Should still be a marginal gain in DR. Why are so many logos missing here? I think that's the reason why also in my standings in the tiny pedal overlay quite many cars are missing, or like the logos of the cars, the badges. Yeah, Meli, I apologize for being there and only leaving 2 car widths. Anyway, the ones missing are using custom livery. Ah, okay. Didn't think of that like that. So let's register here. Alright, Monza. So I wanted to try the McLaren, but I did a couple of laps because we do have the livery. But this car feels like, I don't know, it feels very frustrating and very depressing. It doesn't brake, doesn't accelerate, doesn't do corners, understeers, and snaps the rear. Like I don't know. So maybe we can just try the BMW if it's that OP. Lexus is good at Monza, is it? I don't know. Not tried it before. But since this is fixed setup, and since the race after this will be fixed setup as well, I might try it. Well, GG Karma. Overtake is overtake. I heard Ford is not bad at Monza either. What about the Corvette? I'm gonna spin so hard with it. Now let's go BMW. Long time no drive, you know. We don't have a Rafa livery for it, but oh well. Missed the click. This UI is just I cannot get used to it. And potential further updates to UI in 1 week anyway, so yeah, thinking of the Corvette, because at Le Mans it was accelerating like crazy on the straights. I think like just it keeps powering down the straights like insanely well. Anyway, I think TC on BMW is quite powerful, or like it doesn't need much TC. We have 12 minutes. Let's just see how this drives. I mean, I always loved the handling of the BMW. But it's been a very taken car, so I didn't just want to do the herd instinct. And then Rafa never uses BMW in real life. Okay, it it kind of uses it because they use the Supra GT4 and Toyota Supra is basically a BMW, right? Well, a bit of TC is needed. A bit more of TC. It is a Supra. I don't know at which point the Toyota went with the BMW partnership. I guess it was just for that current generation of the Supra. Not sure if there's anything else. But this handles like a dream compared to the McLaren. That McLaren not fixed setup, it's just undrivable. I will go 6 ABS, let's see. Yeah, this is such a nice car. Every time I start driving it, it just responds so well to anything. The FFB of these cars with front engine is every time better than the rear engine cars for some reason. I wonder how it is in real life. Oh yeah, MD. That's actually really good, because if you're in the BMW and you have like a Lambo behind, the Lambo has a real problem seeing the apexes, but with the BMW or with Mustang you just see the apexes much better. And it handles the curbs like they are barely there. So good. I will need to get a couple of more liveries, I think. Now the only front-engine car that I have rough a livery for is the Lexus. Ah, that was too much of cutting. Copy, copy. Ah, the exposure is high. Yeah, I can do that. Thank you for the feedback, Daniela, but like it's just so difficult because the camera is not adjusting itself well enough. Because I have to adjust the gain, as the exposure will do weird stuff, like it's gonna start flashing. But the exposure in the game is wrong. At the moment everything is super bright, and that happens often. Not sure in which weather conditions, but sometimes it's just super bright. Back in my days, yeah. I mean, in RF2, if you watched my Spa race with the F1 1967 on Saturday, yeah, RF2 has that issue in the like overcast conditions where the sky is still super bright and the car is super bright, but the track has like zero reflection. The track is so dark that you cannot see it properly. So many temp cars around, what's going on? just enough time for one proper lap. Yeah, Daniela, I think of it often, to be honest. Like, how difficult could it be? Like, why would it... I don't know, like, I'm not a programmer, but I know that in ACC, if somebody joins with a custom livery, it's a much more extreme of a lag than anything that we have ever seen in RF2 or LMU. But then in iRacing, the way that external program handles these liveries, what's it called, trading paints, you just press some like Control F something, or if you're not lucky enough that it does it automatically, and it just updates all the liveries, like it just downloads and then it displays them, and there is no freeze, no lag, no anything. So I don't know why that's so hard to implement. But oh well. For leaks and stuff like that, let me practice that braking once more. I need brake bias even more to the rear, I think. Like 48, 49. And ABS was 447, but I'm gonna go 457 maybe. Okay. 4 minutes to go. Let's check the results of the previous race. I never know what to click. Profile, event history, there we go. Rank breakdown. 1.5, okay. Close to Gold 2. How to set up brake bias with one is front? What do you mean? No platinum driver rank, it's basically impossible. We have to kind of distribute much more of the ELO or of the R points to get that possibility. Malinowski in the Aston, okay. So minute and a quarter, 3/4 remaining, and then we enter the server. So brake bias. How to set up? So if you mean which one is front, yeah, so if it says 48, 52, then it's 48 front. Well, not like just in the setting, because I think there is a bit of... it's not like that in the car, actually. Like if you put it to 50-50, it's not gonna be 50-50, because there is like offset of some kind. I don't know the physics and the programming behind it, because in real life they obviously don't use 50-50. But then I don't know why in LMU it's not displayed like the actual effective BB anyway, to make it more clear. Either way, 800 people we will have here 40 splits. Wow. Really nice. Well, let's try to win the top split of 40 splits then. I'm gonna calculate. 794 divided by 21. 38 splits. Good times. There we go. And then I'm afraid that most of my competitors for the next race after this are already sweating the Portimao that will be driven in GT3 Fixed Championship. And I will just have like 3 practice laps. Calculator gives you PTSD. Sorry about that. I like a little bit of calculator. Actually, let's try free ABS. Who would have expected this game to become so popular? Yeah, that's indeed a great thought. I mean, as Gamer Muscle said in his video, if that didn't happen, then sim racing would be in a very sad situation. We really needed LMU to be successful alongside iRacing and the Kunos sims. Wasn't allowed to use the calculator in school. I think we were allowed to use it after, like, maybe for the last 2 grades of the elementary school. And then potentially we had it, like, in high school we had it maybe for some maths exams and not for some others, depending on how the curriculum was. You had the audacity to go to school in summer to move up a grade. Oh, that reminds me of some very unrelated story. Let's try to say that story in 15 seconds. It was the second to last day before the grades are finalized and the grade booklets are handed back to the students. And that whole day was spent on like a bus trip with the class. And at the start of that bus trip, I'm already past the 15 seconds, oh dear. Well, the class professor told me that the art history professor told her that I can improve my grade next day. I will have to take exam of the whole year of curriculum, and then if I make a good grade, I will be handed higher grade for that subject, and therefore I will have the highest overall grade of that year. And I had no clue about the curriculum or like what I have to study. And we were back in the evening. I had 15 hours, including the night, to study whole year. I made it with a lot of soft-heartedness from the professor, but I made it. So I don't have PTSD, but it was very close to a PTSD. And I even got a bit of sleep. Of course, I didn't want to get that much of sleep, but, you know, 4 AM alarm clock doesn't work in the morning. Yeah, we have grades for like 1 to 5. I had to get a 4. But I got a 3 on that like the 2 hours before the conference of the teachers. But because some grades towards the end of the year were 4, the teacher said, you know, alright. Good teacher. Luckily, well, maybe she understood, but I wanted to say luckily she didn't understand that art history was something that I just could not listen to. It was so boring, that like the most boring subject I have ever seen. And then I don't know if I should blame the professor or the curriculum or... I don't know. It could be exciting subject, you know. So Gergely, it's because of the tires. And again, it's not really 4852. When you put it to 4852, it's effectively... I mean, I don't know what it is effectively, but surely it's still more in the front. It's just how this kind of pressure in the hydraulics distributes itself. But yeah, the fronts are a bit weak, the rears are a bit stronger. So then you kind of have to do it. And it interacts with ABS in such a way that it feels good with like 49, 48. But the brakes are so much better on ABS free here in this car. That's interesting. Blame the artists, of course. Well, not the best of the laps. Yeah, ACC is weird, like I never understood ACC, so I cannot really comment on it. I know that in iRacing you have to go extremely rearwards with brake bias. Extremely rearwards. But in ACC I know that if you get a bit of oversteer, it will result in kind of a weird four-wheel slide that will induce even more front understeer. So then it's better to just understeer a little bit than have the rear start rotating and then kill all the rotation overall. So we open up with 50.0, which is half a second of pace. Okay, one more attempt. Well, I did do some better first chicanes in the past compared to this. But this is much better. This is not good. I don't know what happens there. Maybe it's some damper. Like I turn in, it rotates so well, but just at the apex, the front stops fronting. No. Rip. Okay. I will have to win into turn 1 then. Yeah, maybe that ABS free was a bit overzealous. You know, like you take a car, go out of garage, it feels like the best car ever, but after 5 laps, of course, you will start complaining about different tendencies. Anyway, if the game allows me, I'll practice first chicane again. It does not allow me. Unlucky. How many laps do we have here? What was the lap time even? 150, okay. So 20 times 60 divided by 110, gonna be 11 laps, maybe 12. Huh? That much? Wait. Maybe my calculation here is wrong. Anyway, new tires. Why were there softs? Okay, whatever. I lost 4 further places. Well, P10 to P1, let's go. Hi Pedro, no, the new patch is not yet on. New patch in 1 week. Why are my tire temps that high? Don't they start at 50 normally? Maybe that has been updated a bit. Let's do it. Survived. Should have parked it more to the right side. Maybe. Quite a BMW train ahead. Oh. Thank you. Much appreciated. Into P5. Lexus in the lead, okay. Should have just taken the Lexus, maybe. I'm more feeling more accustomed to that car. Late defense, sorry about that. I think I'm shifting too late. What's going on there? Yeah, I don't know. Not gonna defend further. Some dampers are making stuff more tricky. No, don't do mistakes. Ah, that's the worst when you let somebody through and then hope that he will pull you, but then instantly a corner is missed. We need to catch up to P4. I don't know. Okay, thank you. He understood the situation. Now time for the top 4 to start properly battling. Happy to see the gap is kind of stable and not increasing. Oh dear. Well, now it did increase, of course. So what I need to be doing is 50.0. I think I can do that. What's going on there with this car? Like, it really feels like front-wheel drive at some point. I mean, it's these tires. There is no way around it. It's kind of the same as Lexus out of those long sweeping corners at Qatar. Just need to wait much longer and then floor it. 49s for P1, P2. I think this will turn into battle for P3. That's better. But one just has to wait forever to go on the throttle. Maybe it's just the fixed setup. Side by side into Ascari, let's go. Track limit? Okay. Just really feels like you have to go fast in, slow out, or do a lot more rotation on the brakes and kind of accelerate more in a straight line. Thank you for the sub, it's pass. $49.3, yeah, no, I cannot do that. Can I try speak without Slav accent? I mean, I'm trying all the time. Ooh, yeah. It's like, was it Carlos Sainz that said something about it? That you, like, he can speak English, but then it's gonna be very hard to understand. So like Spanish English or Slavic English are just easier to pronounce and easier to understand. Probably for anybody else except the native English speakers. I keep cutting there, have to stop that. No, I don't have any damage. Apart from talent. Oh, thank you, Pierre. I mean, I'm not really thinking of it much. I guess the biggest difference is just the special way that English-speaking people pronounce the letter R, which they don't really pronounce it, so then it's quite weird or tricky to understand what they do with their mouth. That's what I needed. Let's go. Slipstream. Scottish. No, I don't even know how to try Scottish accent. But it's fun to listen to. Not sure if that was the best way to do the overtake, but Is 6/10 good enough for a draft? Not really. Oh, it rotated, thankfully. Sometimes you smash the throttle, it just rotates a bit, and sometimes it just makes it go straight. Come on, Lexus, wait for me. Ah, that breaks. He's doing quite well in P3. I don't know, maybe I should actually go back to ABS 9. Struggling so hard to rotate. Oh dear. Dear Aston, don't do it. Thank you. Nope. Away goes the Lexus. Let's try to at least keep the P4. But why is the Aston so fast on the straight? We were driving Le Mans and the BMW was so quick on the straights, but at Monza it's not quick. I don't get it. No, but even in slipstream, the Aston is kind of driving away from me, and it was not like that while he was behind. I mean, at least I'm the top BMW now, so there is always the BOP excuse. Well, 2 to go. Let's at least try to put together a 49. and now it didn't rotate. Yeah, I don't know. I would need to learn how to drive this car. It's really nice to drive, it just has some tendencies that I just don't really understand. But that Aston is really good on the straights. Like when Tommy Lydon drives this car, he's just super quick. But when I drive it, it's not really that great. But I really think it's like too high rear wing or something for the Monza setup. The Aston just pulls away. Yeah, that's how the BMW felt when I was in other cars at Le Mans. BMW just pulled away, even if I was in tow. But here's exactly the other way around. Anyway, at least I'm gonna do a 49 point something and get that P5. Felt like P3 was doable, but skill issue happens sometimes, which is fine. Best in the BMW class, so... GG Malinowski. Maybe a quick watch of the race start. But I need to jump soon into Portimao. Of course, into the apex. I don't know. I was waiting behind because obviously if I'm gonna go for the inside I'm gonna get collected in a free wide incident, but if I don't do it then other people will go for it, so... Should have been on the left side. But oh well, didn't really matter because soon this happened. Okay. P5 it is. Now quickly jump into the very wet Portimao. Why is there no results? Or is it not generated yet? No, it's here. Oh, I lost a bit of rating. Minus 4.8? That's a lot for a P5. Either way, the big one for today. Join. Yeah, I don't know how exactly it's gonna be. What's the chance of having rain in quali and in the practice and so on. Hi Luca. Yeah, well, front engine slower in the straights, I don't really think that's the case. It's... As I said before, we had Le Mans fixed previous week and BMW was just a rocket ship, and every time we do this LMGT3 fixed championship, the BMW is always a rocket ship out of corners, which is weird because in RF2 it was always a bit bad when it comes to traction and acceleration. But practice server is indeed wet. And that's gonna be very interesting. How the POP is. I mean, Lexus is front engine, so it should have worse traction than the Lambos and stuff. Porsche should be really good again. But if it's just like slightly wet or wet, then those cars with the rear engine will start overheating the tires much quicker. And I'll be able to go longer. So 4 minutes to go. I'm not a champ leader, I think I'm P3 in the championship. The car didn't really have any pace at Bahrain, so had to settle for P4. And then at Qatar it wasn't great either, and it was a night race, so track temps were low, and therefore the Lambo and stuff like that was much better, because the Lexus is excelling in hot temps. So I did win round 1 of this short 4 race championship. It was a very hot quota, and that was such a brilliant race. Excited for Sunday. Wait, do we have VMS on Sunday? We do, right? Yeah, I kind of forgot about it. I don't even know what track it is. Is it Spa, right? Sprint race at Spa. Hi, Shark. Settings of the pedal rumble. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will not have time until this race ends. So remind me after the race, and then I'll quickly show. I don't like the brakes. Yeah, let's go much more to the rear with this. Which works in the wet especially. And ABS 6 maybe potentially as well. Time for retirement. I heard the Peugeot hypercar is really solid at Spa. So I'm looking forward to that. Alright, Matthew. Yeah, I can show it. So basically, the one thing that I can say is that I have that... there is like option whether to have both slip and lock or just lock, and I have that on just lock. And then there is a kind of lock sensitivity slider, and I have that on 100%. But then there is like a custom curve that you can set to the response of the pedal rumble, and I have that set in a particular way that I can show. Alright, pit stop practice. Ah, that would be a speeding penalty. Well, let's see how early do I have to brake to stop. Ah, it's dry there, right? Half of box is in the dry. Solid would be an understatement. I hope. Let's see. And for Valkyrie, I think they will make it alright. Probably it will not be like a second of pace. I mean, it was kind of competitive at Interlagos in real life, so I don't know why they would make it bad. KTM hypercar. Well, that sounds nice. With the V10 engine especially. So what is the situation? We have 40% wetness. That's wet. Yeah, we need wets for that. So it's a wet quali, okay. Yeah, a bit more rearwards brake bias for sure. Actually, I don't know how is it with limited tires. It's infinite limited wets. Well, unlimited wets, what I want to say. Actually, in LMGT3 fixed, it's been unlimited amount of tires anyway? No, it was... Wait, how was it? I think it was 6 tires for the whole event. Yeah, that's how it was. So you took 4 new for the quali and then just 2 new for the race. And the other 2 were half used from quali. But if it's wet, then it's unlimited. Have we done an actual wet race on the new tires in the past? I don't think so. Ah well, that was that. There was that Imola race in the previous championship. But that was a drying track. I wish the wetlands were working. The curbs are not really slippery. That's interesting. Track limit, that's a bug. Well, it was green luckily. Copy. Need a bit more TC if I want to be that aggressive on the throttle. It's not RF2 anymore. Hey Kyle, yeah, we need to spam the forum quite a lot anyway. This wet physics is not great. Well, 6 new tires, so that counts for wets as well? Is that correct? We will see. I hope the gain on the camera will be sufficient. I think for the race start, or like at the moment that the sun starts shining, it's gonna be so bright that I just need to keep lower gain on the camera for the time being. Here we go then, wet quali. Just about made the corner. That was alright for lap. Purple, green, purple. Into P3. Well, that's not as depressing as Quali was at Qatar. A bit deep, but I gained because I was better on the brakes. Too much on the ABS. Three more attempts, I think. Good evening, Liminal. I like this track. That apex is lava. Too late. Oh well. Our attempts still not quite hot. Okay. Well, I have a couple more tents, so that's nice. Just need to put it together. Maybe brake bias even further behind. Right, brake late. Nice. Had to lift. It's a 10th gone maybe. Should be P3. And one more attempt. Mesa sector 1 again. At least a 10th lost. There is not anything more in the car. Is it already overheating at 60 Celsius? Or is it just the tire wear itself? Well, sandwich between many layers of mid-engined cars which have a lot better traction because of engine more over the important axle for traction. Well, let's see how that goes. Okay, so it is unlimited sets of wets, which is nice. Now, how many laps is this gonna be? 45 times 60, and then we divide that by what? The race start is gonna be very wet, and then it's gonna dry out, so I don't know. 45? Could be 25, 20, could be 26 laps maybe, I don't know. I just don't dare taking too little fuel. Yeah, quite an Italian fest indeed. Some BMWs at the back end. Yeah, BMWs absolutely hate these conditions. Mark did a good job at P9. Yeah, that weather, I don't even know what the lap times are in the dry. And I don't want to overfuel, but we never had that much of virtual energy even in the dry, and this track usually has less energy usage. I don't know. I mean, the lap times, I'm scared, but we can always lift and coast a bit. This should be fine. 25. Ah, that's bright. Hi, O Universe. Lambo is to GT3s, what Ferrari is to hypercars. What is the... which GT3 is then the Peugeot to the hypercars? Ah, the Aston Martin hypercar. Well, hopefully soon, next week. I don't really share LMU setups. I shared a couple now and then for special occasions, but or like just show some setup pages, but not really. Anyway, we have a race. Let's get those Lambos. Ooh, of course. And the Lambo just has so much more traction. Now he will be unhappy with me. Okay. Gain the position. Oh, we have this lagging again from other cars. Every time we do this GT3 Fix Championship, there is this weird lagging. So like the sounds are doing like of other cars. Oh, that's... what is that? I cannot see anything. Where is the apex? So Lambos are struggling to turn in, and I'm struggling to put the power down. Ah, this is... this is undrivable with the visibility. And that's from just 2 cars. Let's not do a head jar. Okay, that's not a corner. Man, this is tricky. Like, there is good grip, but what good is grip if you don't know where the corner is? I think it's this situation where it's better to be right on the gearbox of the car ahead. Half a cut point, oof. That's rough. Jet ski racing. Yep. I mean the grip is immense, like it's very grippy. Relatively to what I would expect from these conditions. But the track is drying out now. Come on, battle ahead, please. GT4 pace. I mean, like, again, for these downpour conditions, it's very wet, right? Like, the lap times are really solid. And the nose is kind of dropping off, that's surprising. Yeah, about the tires, I think it's 6 total tires, so 1 set and a half. But if it rains, then you get unlimited wets. I think that's how it's programmed. ABS. But now the beautiful conditions are incoming, I hope. where the track is just faster and faster every lap and the tires start heating up. Too much TC. Yeah, like wet feeling. I mean, there is no wet racing line here. Again, supposedly it's programmed in, but it's not set up correctly, so the devs have not yet taken time to do the parameters correctly. Because in the past in RF2 they were claiming that there is wet line, but it never worked. My favorite apex. Save me, ABS. It's drying up really slowly. Speaking of AC, right? Well, AC is interesting for certain applications. For drifting, maybe? For racing T-Rex around random tracks. It's funny because AC gave me the by far highest views on Instagram Reel. Got 250,000 views on that Formula DS Nordschleife lap. Absolute insanity. Track is not drying up. Is it again this situation where it kind of speed ups in chunks, so suddenly it's gonna be 2 seconds quicker? Or maybe it's drying up but the temperatures of tires are gonna be overheating more and more, so it kind of cancels itself out. Let's see. But we're all doing exactly the same pace, which is interesting. Well, one Lambo driver has a reputation of leading the GT3 Fixed Championship. Okay, it is getting a bit faster now. 53s. Fierce Clary has a lot more pace in hand, so when he overtakes he will just disappear. I thought this was going to dry up much faster, to be honest. But it's better for me if it stays wet like that. Big battle ahead. Yeah, with only like 13-14 laps to go, there is no way that slicks are gonna be preferable at any point. But these tires will start overheating at some point. A bit of a drying line forming as well. Oof, nice dive. That's a classic Ciclari, I think. making the nose go into apexes where one would hope it doesn't go. But oh well, if there is no crash then fair enough. I would love another 2-for-1, like I did at Bahrain 2 weeks ago or so, although that one didn't end too well. Well, for me it ended well, but not for one of the other two. But if Clary sticks the nose in for P1, little incident might happen and then I might be through. I have to make sure not to overheat the tires. Keep them under 70 for as long as possible. It's really weird though, like there is no wetness almost on track, or like it's damp on the racing line kind of visually. And it was super wet at the start, but the lap times are not that faster. Couple of seconds, but I would thought that we would surely gain 10 seconds per lap with such a change in conditions. So yeah, I think in very wet situation the wet grip is way too high. Scared Lambo, well, scared myself. But finally this is not a bad line, seemingly. You don't lose much by just overshooting the entry but nailing the exit. I think I'm better on the brakes with the Lexus and can carry significantly more speed into the corner. But yeah, exit is a problem. Generally, fighting like crazy for P2, letting P1 go is a bad idea. I don't have the traction to be close enough for a scare. It's still quite a bit of time to go, so I prefer to wait a bit, see if a mistake happens ahead. Front left will be giving up more and more now. There we go. It's wet on the left side. I was too defensive, maybe. We think it's time to consider dry tires. Not sure if with 8 laps to go there is any point in that. What a drift! That was marginal. That had to be done. Now let's see how fast Quali is. Shiny, this is GT3 champ, the last race. Well, for me. 7 laps to go. Yeah, I think the Lambos should be struggling more and more now. And my only worry is the front left temperature. Yeah, this is how much more speed Lexus can carry into the corners. Cut. Ah, it's a green. Nice. I mean, I don't feel like I have the pace to do a little trolling. Really lacking the traction. The front is a bit too heavy for that last corner. So wet the apex.
4 laps. Come on. There must be a way. But the temperatures are now skyrocketing here, I think above 70. It's a significant struggle for the wets. Free to go. I can carry so much more speed into corners, but I don't know how to use it. That traction from Lambo is just insane. Front left cooked. And now the lap traffic will do its own things. just need to be like 1 meter closer. Last lap. Oh well, the moral of the story, if you don't have the traction you cannot do anything. I think I had a couple of options where I could like absolutely dive bomb, but it felt too risky. Like from the moment that I got P2, I don't really think I had a great option. Anyway, hope you guys still enjoyed the fight, even though it wasn't really on track for most of the race. But GG Kevin. I thought my tires would be less dead, but we kind of pulled a big gap on Antonowski, who is the championship leader. He finished before. I thought if I win and he's like P6, maybe I can get ahead of him in the standings, but oh well. Was a good race. There was a lot of chances of crashing out. The visibility was absolute zero at some points. Just quick check on the race start. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not a fan of this grid procedure still. Because like I was before, but like why is Timotei, or like I think this is Timotei, why is Timotei so far behind? Like why doesn't it tell him to move more forward? We were kind of moving more forward, but still like this is broken. Should have taken the apex, and then I would be alongside here. And this little anti-cut, this yellow silly thing, it's worse than it appears to be. And I get caught up on it many times. The ACC procedure is way more cleaner, yeah, indeed. Although what I don't like in ACC is that you can not use the pit limiter. And that if you go like 1 kph too quick, then it's instant penalty. Bonk. Well, I was taking the wet line. And then, yeah, like, look at that, like, he just gets more grip. He gets more grip on the paint and on the curb. So either there is way too little grip reduction on the painted surfaces, or the Lambo is just crazy, like, he just out-accelerates me. At this point I would be able to turn in, but of course he sends it because he's unhappy with my hairpin, and I understand that. Yeah, I don't know. I was very cautious for sure. I was not on any limit of being like esports crazy with overtakes, but I thought that's not the point of this racing anyway. But I mean, the pace was still immense. Like, we did a great job with Kevin to pull ahead of everybody else. This one was very on the limit. Yeah, this this one was well calculated, but also quite lucky. Maybe Bessier was expecting it. Maybe he wasn't expecting. But my car gripped on the dry line, so... Either way. It is what it is. The car struggled in the crucial moments, so like last corner with front left just not gripping enough. Maybe I can blame the fixed setup, and then with the traction zones, which only engine placement can be blamed. Okay. Let's see the standings overall. But yeah, Leiden did not race today. Plus 4.9. So with P2 here I just gained the same as I lost with P5 in the fixed at Monza. Difficult. Anyway, so we have here the championship standings. What do I have to click to go back there? I have no idea. I guess just fully back. Aha, it's here. Standings. Is the... I guess the worst result is like discounted or like removed. In that case, that still doesn't make sense. What? Because 9 plus 9 is 18 plus 2 is 0, but I have 1 here, so I don't know what this is. Overall. Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, I don't know what the driver rank wants to be, but doesn't really change much. But yeah, if I won this, I would get like 280 plus, and if Timothy did not get back to before, he would be like 240. And then we would maybe be close, but anyway, it's not really the point. It was a fun championship. Happy that I have done it. Oh well, about ACC grading and formation lab, like there are bugs, you know. I remember at Nürburgring there is a bug that if you start from like P17, at some point you just for no reason get a drive-through. I would get 277 for the win. Ah, okay. I see. Ah, yeah, makes sense. Or does it make sense? No, I don't think that's the case, because you get according to your DR. So if I have better DR than Kevin, I would get more than him. No, less. So if I have better DR than Kevin, I would less than him. But if I was very low on DR, I would get more. I don't know. There is no documentation of this, so maybe I would get actually 277. Points are rounded. Ah, okay. A win in this field would always get 277. Understood. Thank you for the explanation.
Well, then I'm gonna take the P3. Where is the other Lexus? There is no Lexus. Or there are no Lexi. Is that how it's said? P16. I kind of like the car. Was good fun. Let's see how it is in longer endurance races. I can quickly load it for sure. Find the replay. I just don't quite remember what was the exact lap. Points are based on strength of field. Okay. So then it doesn't really... Or like your rating is already accounted for in that calculation, right? So one thing I promised before the race start was... Wait, can I do this? One moment. We're loading. We are loaded. I will do it like this. But first I will show the Shake It Motors wheel lock. I hope this is visible. I think it's visible. So I have this mode to corners. I use lock only, max lock sensibility, and then this is the response curve. So 0.8, 16, 60 and 100. And then I think I just use threshold to move around depending on the situation. Although this is more for like if you don't have ABS. With ABS it's not... I mean, you feel it more in the steering wheel. Right. So I said I'm gonna show the triple fight. So this was... Okay, I got scared by ABS a bit. I think it was this one. Clary really carried the speed around the outside. He extended the corner. I caught this anti-cut again. Not too bad. So all that I would need here is Bessier braking a bit later. But he was quite early on the brakes. And then I made a nice switchback. Although I could carry even more speed. And then I was like, where to put the car? Like there was space on fully left side. I mean, I'm now showing with the finger, but I realize I don't use the camera at the moment. Like on this side, there was space, but there is a racing line there, dry. And then again, Bessier was just braking so early. Like I was caught up with him. I thought he would brake later because he was on the drier line. And I just had to smash the brakes and then either to like instantly react to go to inside, but that's very dangerous. And then I was counting on Kevin messing it up. But then it just all ended, so... Goofy Lambo thing, yeah. And then obviously I had to send it. And that's it. And then I tried... I was very close to move sometimes, but again, like it doesn't really... Like where can I overtake? The only place where I could overtake, really, was here. Like I was so much faster into these corners. But then the traction zone here kills me. If I was like right behind here, I would be able to just brake on the inside or like around the outside and make a crazy switch back and attack again, but because Kevin was on the limit and like nailing the apexes all the time, and like even with snap like this, he didn't really lose much. Was my traction control too high? Sometimes I had like a big slide, but if I was going straight, the car wasn't having any wheel spin, so maybe the TC was too high and slip was too low. And I really counted on the last corner being like my corner, so like for me to be able to carry more spin into it and then to nail the throttle and just go for it, but front left was absolutely melting. It was much easier for Suklari. Anyway, that's it for today. I think we have VMS Pro on Sunday. I need to update myself with the schedule. So yeah, we have VMS Pro round 7 now. 60 minutes of Spa on Sunday. Maybe I will think of a weekly, but we have... When do we have these ones? Wait, let me see. Le Mans Ultimate online status. We have 100 minutes of Bahrain, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I don't know, maybe I try a Friday stream, but it's gonna be Sunday stream and then Monday stream and then Tuesday stream next week anyway, so anyway, I will just say thank you guys. Oh, do we have a cheeky media day before 1.0? I mean, I'm working towards it, right? Hopefully that's the plan. Maybe if my media early access license is still green, maybe I can have a nice hot lap, maybe the GoPro hot lap with the Valkyrie around, I don't know, around some track. Well, Luca, I cannot really comment on that now. And before I start commenting on something that I shouldn't comment on, I'll say thank you everyone for commenting, for sharing, for why is this turning on? Like, why is I tried a couple of times to turn on my desktop like that, and I just don't know what I hover across, because there is no this preview of Windows 11. Sometimes it just like turns on the desktop. Anyway, thank you guys again. Nice to have the chats and the GGs and the likes and the subs. See you next time. Have a great evening. Bye bye.